What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Gabos, and we back on another one. Remember, subscribe is the vibe, my boy. We're on the road to 4K humbly. If you're old to the channel, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit both of them joints for your boy. We got how Gunna ruined his career by snitching on YSL. This whole snitching shit is crazy, bro. Yeah, so we just gonna react, man. Let's tune in.
A rap superstar from Atlanta who goes by the name of Gunna was released from jail on December 14th, 2022 after he entered into a plea deal. And even though the famous YSL RICO case that got him behind bars ended for him that day, wasn't the only thing that had ended. Namely, on the day that he decided to snitch on YSL, his music career had ended too. Even though Gunna and his legal team thought deeply about the legal consequences and intricacies of this plea deal, as well as all that would ensue upon leaving Fulton County Jail, little did they know that the vast majority of Gunna's fans would turn their back on him. The hip-hop community is a ruthless place, and no single artist could ever control it. There's no love for snitches in the rap game, and whoever talks the talk but doesn't walk the walk is not going to make it far in life. Gunna is a textbook example. Most of you know by now, Gunna, Young Thug, and several other Young Stoner Life, sometimes Young Slime Life, members were charged with violating the RICO Act of Georgia back in summer of 2022. In making their statement, the prosecutors made it their mission in life to put as much dirt as possible to every single member of YSL. From their perspective, these people are good for nothing, and they should all be locked up for good. It's no secret that they had targeted one of the members more than the other. That person is King Slime himself, Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug. Young Thug was pulling the strings in the YSL operations from the very beginning. It's obvious to everyone who kept a close eye on this case that Thugger's the one whose prosecutors wanted to see wiped from the face of the earth.
Oh, baby. Say a prayer, I feel like I can't breathe. You left my heart aching. I'm torn apart, baby.
Gunna, who was always an associate and friend of Young Thug, simply happened to be there in the picture with him. Truthfully, even before YSL was deemed a criminal enterprise, not just a record label, most people believed that Gunna is a talented artist with a gift for creating music, not a crime mold.
Baby, but he bringing that on a refund. Breaking up until I see the sun. I put the bitch on the jet.
Since Gunna made some dangerous friends, he moved along with them and followed their footsteps. That, however, put his name on a lot of police radars. Before you know it, he too was indicted, just like the 28 other YSL.
People you associated
Given
with.
that the police didn't have too much to say about Gunna, nor did they throw any more charges to his name other than the RICO Act violation, most people suspected that he wouldn't be held in jail for too long. That turned out to be.
And it kind of speaks to how crazy these times are, bro. Because back in the day, when guys would testify or snitch, however you want to look at it, they wouldn't record it and post it on social media for everybody to cast their opinions about this shit, bro. Back in the 90s, well, not even just in the 90s, but just before this new era of social media. Like, the worst thing now is to be a snitch as a musical artist, especially a hip-hop musical artist. Like, you know what I mean? The fact that it's on footage and it's gonna, and once something hits the internet, it's there forever. It doesn't matter. You could change and not be the same person. You could be forgiven. There's still going to be a group of people that are always going to be able to go back to that footage in which you're cooperating with the judge and answering to the prosecutors, calling them this ma'am and yes ma'am. And it's just, it contradicts this rough thug gangster image that you portrayed on the outside. And here you are cooperating, right? You know what I mean? For lack of a better term, to jam your mans up, and meanwhile you free. So it's not without consequences. I know people look at the 6ix9ine situation and like, yo, why is 6ix9ine able to walk around all free willy? He been keeping the same energy, but like, it's so funny how they never think they're gonna turn snitch until they back against the wall, bruh.
Be true.
Deal that set Gunna free, a major development in a huge racketeering case.
A couple months passed by and Gunna worked on his legal strategy for getting out of jail with his team of lawyers, alongside Steve Sadow and Don Samuel. From May to December, Gunna was behind bars, and then all of a sudden, he simply walked out.
Not even a year, bro.
The fans,
not even a year. From May to December, that's 7 months. 7 months, and they got my boy tapping. Shit is crazy.
By telling on some of his gang members and cooperating with police. One man commented on the situation and said he cut a deal and gave information. He is now a tool of the system to be used when they need it. Another person thought, yes, he admitted with his signature that YSL is a gang and record label. He also signed his signature to admitting that YSL committed crimes as a gang. He also pleaded guilty to his crimes within the gang/record label, period. It's virtually impossible to disagree with these comments. One does not simply walk out without making some sort of deal or giving some sort of confidential information, and truthfully, Gunna did say something to the entire courtroom. This is what he had to say when he was asked to testify as a part of his Alfred plea deal.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocodone, methamphetamine,
So I'm talking about this in forever.
Were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
This video sums up everything you need to know about Gunna and his fight with the judicial system. Two things stem from this video. One, Gunna confirmed that Young Slime Life is indeed a criminal gang, not just a record label. And perhaps more importantly, he not only confirmed that he was in the car with Young Thug when they got pulled over and arrested, but he also denied that any of the drugs and firearm were his. To put it in simple terms, he put his close friend, partner, and brother in jeopardy. He took out any semblance of a defense that Young Thug's lawyers could use during his trial. However, Gunna claimed shortly after his release that he did not cooperate with the police and he did not testify against anyone from YSL. If you ask him, he did absolutely nothing wrong. This is what Gunna's lawyer had to say to the press shortly upon.
And there we go again with, you know, essentially pushing the goalpost. Like, what's cooperating? A lot of times, like, bro, in this day and age, it's hard to tell what's snitching. Now it just seems like any type of cooperation is snitching. I was under the assumption that you had to take the stand and testify under oath and point fingers. That was always my, I mean, I ain't gangster. I mean, I'm from the hood, but that don't mean that the two lives intertwine. So it's like, I just assumed that was snitching. But when the footage came out with him talking about, yes, ma'am, that gun wasn't mine, this, that, and the third, YSL is a gang type shit, I'm just like, well, he's answering questions. I don't know if that's snitching exactly, but in this culture, in this day and age, when you look at what his cooperation can lead to for Slime, yeah, you could bash him for snitching, bro.
I'm being released from jail. While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case, and have absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way. The statement makes one thing clear. He tried very hard to make himself look as if he did absolutely nothing wrong.
Facts.
On one hand, an argument can be made that, in fact, he didn't do anything wrong. Think about it. He wanted to get out of the harsh and desolate conditions of his jail cell. He's an artist that has nothing to do with the crime. He didn't give out any names. He didn't even use more than 2 words in front of the court. One could say that Gunna did his very best given the circumstances. However, on the other hand, this is a form of snitching since he did confirm what the prosecutors suspected for a long time now. YSL is indeed a criminal organization that has to be dealt with, and Young Thug is the leader. No questions asked. The real answer to the question of whether or not Gunna really can be called a snitch is going to present itself only after Young Thug's trial finishes. Before we see if Gunna's name is called out or if his name appears on any of the papers, we can't confirm that Gunna is a snitch. For being objective, for now, he's innocent of that label. But even if he isn't a snitch, as so many artists and music fans out there are claiming so freely, one thing that not a lot of people are talking about is Gunna's future in the rap game. After all that's happened to this man in the last 2 months, is there really a chance that he could come back and still make music? It is a well-established fact about the hip-hop community. Snitching is simply not an option, and whoever did anything remotely close to cooperate with the police is going to go through hell one way or another.
The face Young Thug made when he found out his friends was snitching.
On the 29th is my understanding, so we would simply ask that any motions be heard after Mr. Steele and Mr. Williams and Mr. Adams, experts.
There are many folks out there who truly believe that if you snitch once, you are never going to be looked at the same by the community. It is as if you are ostracized and your status cannot be redeemed in any way. How are you ever going to pick up the mic and make the same type of music that you made in the past? Most of Gunna's songs revolve around glorifying street life and showing resistance toward authority and the police. Now everyone knows what Gunna's saying doesn't hold any merit. It's just false info. Even if people know that other gangster rap artists out there who promote the same values as Gunna aren't really embedded into the street life as they want us to believe, it still won't be the same. Tony Yayo reminded us that if you go down the path that Gunna did, your career is over.
Because, I mean, in this business, if you turn into a rat, it's kind of like career's over.
Plenty of rappers shared Yayo's opinion on Gunna, and they too were disappointed. There were other possibilities for Gunna to take into consideration. Imagine being Gunna and making a rap album today. Who's gonna pick up your phone and do a feature on it? Nobody who keeps the G code alive is gonna take your call. You can count on that. Therefore, it's a legitimate question to ask whether or not Gunna completely ruined his music career on the day that he decided to take the plea deal. Yeah, he got his freedom, but he might have ended his career. Some, like Tony Yayo, speculate that Gunna could have kept his mouth shut and stayed in jail for whatever time they were planning to give him. Afterward, he'd come out as a free man and have the reputation along with it. Now, that's no longer longer an option. Gunna can't right his wrongs, and now there's very little that he can do about it. Lastly, the photo that got uploaded on Gunna's Instagram makes you wonder what's the future for Gunna in terms of his music. In the photo, he can be seen in his mansion, all alone, dressed in all black, caption that reads, something like they switch into a side, but it's only one side. And in some scary way, it makes you wonder whether Gunna basically...
Yo, y'all peep that rat emoji?
It's only one side.
Yo, the internet is toxic as hell, bro. Like the first comment highlighted is a rat.
Dressed in all black, caption that reads, something like they switch into a side, but it's only one side. And in some scary way, it makes you wonder whether Gunna basically attended the funeral for his own music career that had a lot of potential. But what y'all think about the future of Gunna's music? Is there a way that the hip-hop community moves on with the fact that Gunna turned his back on his brothers? We've seen it happen before, and it's not impossible, but does Gunna has what it takes to move on from such a big loss?
Time will tell. Yo, this was dope. This was dope. It was put together well for only an 8-minute piece. Really captivating and all that with the information. But like, yo, bro, this is the times that we're in. And I had a conversation with a friend a couple of days ago, right? Where we spoke about this whole Gunna situation. Because oftentimes from the internet, from behind the screen or behind your phones, it's easy for us to throw stones. Like as if we're in that same situation that Gunna is in. Are we cooperating? Are we saying anything? Or we serving the time and taking it to trial? I mean, it sounds good on a rap album, right? It sounds good in lyric. When it's actual reality, when this is the circumstances that you're in, are you going to maintain and keep that same energy? I told my friend this, like if we're caught up in a situation, right? And we both get jammed and it's something like, let's just say it's drugs or anything like that could be self-incriminated. I told him like this, bro. I'm not the type to snitch. I won't dime you out if I know I'm responsible. If I'm responsible, if I'm taking part in whatever it is that we're doing, I'm not gonna dime you out because I also signed up for this shit too. And I would expect the same energy. But a real friend that fuck with you, a real friend that like you, a real friend that love you, man, they're not gonna put you in that same situation. Because that's what I told my boy. I'm like, yo, listen, I'll never snitch on you. I'll never snitch on none of you guys. But don't you dare put me in that situation, because that's not my lifestyle. You know what I mean? And if you do put me in that situation, I'm gonna do whatever. Like I'm gonna go through the consequences, but I'm cutting you off. You know what I mean? There ain't no trauma bond here. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to make no new pen pals. I'm not trying to have a fan base from behind bars. Don't you put me in a situation where I get locked up, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm not the type to snitch, but I'm also the type like, yo, if you really got love for me, don't put me in that situation. Don't. And I'm not trying to say that Young Thug put Gunna in this situation. It is what it is. I can't speak to their bond, but evidently it's not as strong as Young Thug thought. If this dude was only locked up for 6 months and started singing, I could do 6 months. I know 6 months. Oh my God, bro. But listen, man, leave in the comment section what you think about this situation. As far as his career being over, I'm a firm believer that fans are fake as hell. They're gonna shit on him, but evidently, like when you have a talent that no one can deny, and that's the ability to make music with or without features. With features, his music is elevated. Without features, I still think he'll stream and get people to buy into his album, because none of these fans really care about this street shit. I'm keeping it a bean. Gunna's career is not over, in my opinion. In my opinion, you can let me know in the comment section what you think, but the man knows how to make music, and they're gonna hate, and still stream. I mean, I'm pretty sure R. Kelly getting streams right now. It just is what it is. It's the life that we live in, man. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. I rock with you. If you rock with me, subscribe. It's the vibe. Your boy's on the road to 4K humbly. I'm gonna check you guys on the next video. Free Young Thug, man.